Hello, everyone. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think Will Smith should leave Jada Pinkett right now. But before we get into it, can you please like and subscribe? At number 5, that red table talk, that entanglement drama. What kind of man would go on a public forum to discuss his wife's indiscretions and look like he was about to cry? That's the type of stuff you keep private. I mean, even Hillary Clinton sent out Bill to that press conference where he admitted his affair by himself. Because you discuss stuff like that in private. Will was sitting there listening to his wife talking about what she did with a young man that was a friend of the family. And when you watch that red table stuff, and during that whole discussion, Jada would stare at him and Will looked like a little child, a little boy, like someone under a spell. My grandma used to always tell me about back in the day in the West Indies, in countries like Jamaica and Haiti, women used to put spells on men. And the men would act out of character just to try to impress the woman. I know some of you guys out there saying, yeah, the only spell he under is called being sprung and simping. That man did not look like he wanted to be there. So why was he there? Number 4, all the public humiliation. What wife goes on a TV interview while she's still married to the man and talk about him being trash in bed? That is something unheard of. Women usually would do that after a breakup, after a bad breakup and she feels scorned. She's not gonna do that and stay with a man. Matter of fact, why would the man even stay with the woman after she went and did that? And their daughter Willow, when she was 11 years old, she wrote a letter to Tupac. How much her mother missed him. Folks, she wasn't even born. How's she know all this information? Why is this letter even public? That's stuff that should be kept private. We know there's only one person she could have got that information from. Jada. Jada's still thinking about Tupac. And see, that brings us to number 3. Jada didn't want to be with Will. Her heart was with Tupac. We all know it. So why wasn't she with Tupac? That's what I'm gonna get into. See, Jada was raised by her mother and her Jamaican-born grandmother. And Jada was very close to her grandmother. Her grandmother is the one who got her into the arts. And Jada's mother got pregnant with Jada while she was still in high school. And her mother also discussed about being raped by Jada's dad and talked about the domestic violence she went through. So you know there's some serious trauma there, and the mother didn't want her daughter to be with a bad boy. She wanted her daughter to be with a nice guy. See, Will has been trying to get with Jada since 1990. I mean, he even met his first wife going to see Jada. But Jada's heart was somewhere else. And we all know where it was at. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the movie The Heartbreakers. Now, this is a movie about a mother and a daughter con artist team who go around the country scamming men out of money. Now, I'm not saying Jada and her mother are scam artists, but in the movie, the mother kept telling the daughter about the mistakes she made when she was young with men and because of love. So she kept telling the daughter, don't marry for love, marry for money and a bright future. And many parents do this. A lot of parents don't want their daughters dating bad boys. They want their daughters to be with nice men. Do you think it's a coincidence that Jada started dating Will after Tupac went through all that rape and that shooting in New York drama? They started dating when Tupac was in prison. Because that's when her mother said, you see, do you want to live that life? Is that the life you want? So Jada got serious with Will. You think it's another coincidence that they didn't get married until the year after Tupac died? Tupac died in 1996. They got married in 1997. Number 2, Will slapped a man on national TV on the biggest career night of his life. The man won an Oscar that night. A smaller man at that. A man Will know who have publicly discussed being bullied. Will was not defending his wife's honor. It was words. It was a joke. He has carefully crafted a positive image. It wasn't the fact that Will slapped Chris. It was how it all went down. When Will first heard the joke, he started laughing. Then he turned and looked at Jada, and she did something with her eyes and her hands, and it was like Will turned into a zombie and turned and started marching towards the stage. Didn't even look like Will. Then when he sat down, he started yelling, using profanity at the Oscars. This man was out of character. It's one thing to be mad, but to do all that drama, that was not Will. Now, I'm not sitting here saying Will looked like that because Jada's grandmother taught her how to put a voodoo spell on a man. I'm not saying that. I don't want to make excuses for what Will did, but that man looked out of character. And the number one reason why Will should leave Jada now, that woman is never going to truly love Will. Yeah, she loves him because he is the father of her children. But deep down, she's not going to have that real deep down love. And let me tell you why. See, Jada wanted to be with Tupac, but her mother wanted her to be with Will. So deep down, Jada feels somewhere in her heart that if she'd have followed her heart, Tupac might still be alive today. If she would have been with him, his whole path might have changed. Because Jada was the one person Tupac listened to. He had respect for her, man. So I believe the reason why Jada is doing all this public humiliation is because subconsciously, she wants her mother to understand that she wanted to be with Tupac. See, many people have talked about Tupac. Not a lot of people hit on the fact that it was the mother who prevented her from being with Tupac. And that's the reason why Will should leave, because the ghost of Tupac will never die. There's YouTube channels right now still talking about Tupac, getting millions of views. And Will, you would have to live with that the rest of your life. And if you couldn't handle a bad joke, how you gonna handle that? It can only get worse.